JBN, we keep you informed. Alleged Jamaican hitman arrested in Bahamas. Bahamas police have said that a known Jamaican hitman was arrested on Grand Bahama earlier this week. The police said the man had traveled to the country to carry out a hit and that he's affiliated with the Jamaican gang No Dollars, No Cents. The suspect, a resident of Augustown, St. Andrew, was arrested at Victoria Inn. He's suspected of entering the Bahamas for the purposes of a contracted murder, the police said in a statement. He is currently connected to a number of murders in Jamaica, the statement added. His name has not been released. $10 million worth of ganja seized in Orange Bay, Portland. Police seized approximately 2,725 pounds of compressed ganja during an operation in Orange Bay District, Portland, on Tuesday, June 30. Reports are that about 10:30 p.m., lawmen were in the area when they saw an abandoned under Ridgeline motor truck. A search of the area was conducted and 50 knitted bags containing ganja were found. The police said the illicit drug has an estimated street value of $10.9 million. No one is arrested in relation to the seizure. Thief nabbed with firearm in St. Catherine minutes after robbery. A man was slapped with charges of robbery with aggravation and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition after robbing several persons in Linstead, St. Catherine on Saturday, June 27. He is 22-year-old Jesus Matadine of Rosemount District, Linstead in the parish. Reports are that about 3 p.m., Matadine entered an establishment with a firearm and robbed several persons of personal items and ran. He was seen by a team of officers on patrol who gave chase. The police said Matadine was caught and a knapsack he was carrying was searched, and one Glock 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 10 rounds of ammunition and several other stolen items were found. He is to appear in court soon. Man imprisoned for over 20 years without trial granted bail today. Another man deemed mentally ill, who was imprisoned for over 2 decades, was this morning granted bail when he appeared in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court. 49-year-old Abraham Lawrence is the latest citizen whose case has attracted national attention and outrage following an Indicom report on the death of 81-year-old Noel Chambers in January. Chambers spent 40 years in prison without trial. Lawrence was admitted into the custody of the Department of Correctional Services in 1999 after he was arrested in relation to an altercation where he allegedly threw stones at a group of men in Untley Castle District, St. Elizabeth. A police service vehicle was damaged during the altercation. Senior Parish Court Judge Anne-Marie Granger granted Lawrence bail in the sum of $10,000. You will be looking about him to ensure he's taken care of, Granger told Lawrence's brother. A psychiatrist report which was requested for Lawrence was not ready for court today. Lawrence's attorney, Usain Morgan, had asked that the court grant his client bail. Lawrence is scheduled to see a resident psychiatrist next Thursday and return to court in Santa Cruz on Friday. Last week, 71-year-old George Williams was freed when he appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court. The Ministry of Justice's Legal Aid Council, in a press release on Tuesday, stated that it is providing legal representation for 2 mentally ill detainees who are set to be released this month. Lawrence was one of the 2 detainees. The other detainee, Maurice Small, is set to appear in the Trelawney Parish Court on July 30. Jamaican cruise ship workers stuck in Brazil cry for help. 10 Jamaicans aboard the MSC Seaview cruise ship anchored in Brazil are growing weary of being at sea and are appealing to the government to repatriate them in short order. The COVID-19 pandemic threw global travel and leisure into a tailspin in March, leaving several cruise liners in a quandary, seeking ports to repatriate tourists and cruise workers alike to their homelands. Jamaica had also closed its borders to passenger traffic in March, with thousands of stranded Jamaican cruise workers around the world expressing displeasure at the government's refusal to grant them landing privileges or coordinate initiatives to get them home. Up to June 22, some 1,957 cruise ship workers were returned home under a controlled re-entry program. At least 45 have tested positive for COVID-19, according to the government. The government is working on scheduling the repatriation of the remaining seafarers out there, and again, this is across 9 ship lines, and I would say easily more than 115 ships, some of which are being consolidated even as we speak. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith said in May after 1,044 seafarers were granted landing privileges at historic Falmouth in Trelawney. For several remaining Jamaican seafarers stuck abroad, their day can't come soon enough. 22-year-old Peter Gay Allen, a first-time cruise ship worker who has been in Brazil since January, said she and 9 other fellow countrymen aboard the MSC Seaview are frustrated with the long wait. She said that the Jamaicans have all registered on the government's jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm portal and have been approved to return home. Their frustration intensified this week when the Cubans on board the vessel were repatriated to their country with no arrangements made for the Jamaicans to travel with them. Cuba is just right next to Jamaica, Allen lamented. They went as far as to get visas for the Cubans to allow them to travel through Europe. We couldn't have done that too? They were appealing to the government to charter a flight to get them home. In a June 18 letter issued to the crew, MSC Seaview stated that no crew members were in isolation and that it was working with governments, ports, airports, and airlines to repatriate the 243 people on board. When contacted, the Port Authority of Jamaica said that it was in dialogue with MSC Cruises, which operates the vessel. They indicated that they have not yet finalized their plans for repatriation, whether by air or sea. Further, they have not yet provided a total number of Jamaican workers globally that desire to return to the country, as they are still in the process of collating the information, the PAJ said. It added that cruise lines bear a contractual obligation to arrange for the return of seafarers to their homeland, and that the government would then make the arrangements to accommodate them by air or sea. The PAJ also noted that there are Jamaicans in various parts of the world, some of whom are still under contract and who have not yet expressed a desire to be repatriated. Another Jamaican aboard the MSC Seaview, who asked that his name be withheld, said that the situation is getting worse. He said that there has been poor communication, no reliable information towards going home, and it's getting frustrating. Another colleague, 28-year-old Patrick Campbell, said that life aboard the vessel in the COVID-19 era has been very stressful. Brazil has surpassed 1.5 million COVID-19 cases, with only the United States, with 2.7 million, recording more cases. Bail extended for Royal Reed, Fritz Pinnock, and other co-accused. Former Education Minister Royal Reed, Caribbean Maritime University CMU President Fritz Pinnock, and their co-accused had their bails extended when they appeared before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court today. They were ordered to return to court on July 29. Reed, his wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, Pinnock, and Brownstown Division Counsel Kim Brown Lawrence are facing corruption charges. The 5 accused were charged in connection with a major fraud and corruption probe by the Financial Investigation Division, FID, involving transactions at the CMU. Attorney at law Hugh Wildman has indicated that when they return to court, he'll be making legal submissions for the case to be thrown out on the grounds that the charges laid against them were illegal. Wildman is arguing that officers from the Financial Investigation Division had no authority in law to arrest or bring charges against the accused. He said he will be basing his submissions on the recent Privy Council ruling that the Independent Commissioner of Investigations has no authority in law to arrest, charge, or prosecute. Wildman is contending that the FID Act and the Indicom Act are similar. Susan Bogle's son on murder charge gets bail to attend her funeral. A man who is said to be a son of Susan Bogle, the disabled Augustown St. Andrew woman who was shot dead under controversial circumstances in late May of this year, is in trouble with the law. The man, identified as Mark Stevens, is charged with the murder of Eric Jamieson. Police report that Jamieson was killed in October 2009. Stevens, who has been behind bars for some time in relation to the incident, was granted bail in the sum of $300,000 on Thursday in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, following an application from his lawyers, Peter Champagne QC and Richard Lynch. The allegations against the accused were that Stevens was in the company of another man who used a firearm to shot and kill Jamieson in a bar. In an impassioned plea before the parish court, the attorneys representing Stevens submitted that the case against their client is weak and that as a son of Bogle, he would like to attend her funeral. Bogle, 44, was killed at her home in Augustown during a joint police-military operation that was said to have involved a confrontation with gunmen. Stevens is to return to court on August 27, 2020. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.